Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your love and relationship tarot reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. That person is not me. I will not be soliciting you for anything. Do not be scammed. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Taurus, love and relationships. 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 Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. And let's see what your chakra energy is for this time. Taurus. Love and relationships. Taurus. Love and relationships. Taurus. Love and relationships. Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic, these three. Okay, now this isn't your normal love reading, all right? So Spirit speaks about love differently than the other, than other readings. So not that I do, but that I've seen. So Spirit is talking about the individual self and has a tendency to focus on the individual self and how we can move forward and embrace the love that we want within our lives and step into that love and that empowerment. Because especially as a Taurian, I mean, such sensual, powerful, expressions of self is what you're so good at. So here, this is what we're going to be focusing on, that power, that strength, that coming together. And so here, let's see what everybody has to say, what Spirit has to say. So we're starting off with soul's healing. This is the Solstar Chakra located 6 inches above your crown. It then moves us to the inner child, which is the heart chakra, and then brings us to love, which is, once again, the heart chakra. And the whole point of this reading, right? So that's beautiful. You have the heart chakra and healing around the heart chakra. So that's very much the focus. So let's see what our tarot has to say. We have the Chariot, Cancer Energy, June 21st to July 22nd, and the Magician, which is absolutely awesome, becoming the alchemist, the creator of our own space. You have the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups. You have the Minor Arcana Lovers card with the Two of Cups. You then have the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Wands, so you're absolutely taking this gift. You have the Three of Cups and the King of Cups. Okay, so let's start off by speaking about the chakra energy. We're starting off with the Solstar Chakra. There's a healing that's coming over us here, Taurus. And the power that comes over us is the sense of divinely being guided. So it doesn't matter where you are in your relationship status, in your life. It matters that you embrace this healing because it's connecting you with something greater, with something more, with a sense of becoming more yourself than you were ever before. And that might sound like a grandiose thing for Spirit to say, but every time we step closer to our truth, every time we step into our authenticity and claim it with power and assertion, we become more ourselves than we ever were. And our dawn becomes brighter and better and more powerful. So here with the Solstar Chakra, there is the sense of our souls being washed over with love and with light and with compassion and with understanding, and letting ourselves revel in that, sit in that, meditate in that energy is going to be so prominent and so powerful for this time. Now, you might have noticed that this doesn't have a date or a time on it because Spirit is saying whenever you stumble across this reading, whenever you feel the calling to watch this is the time when the message is right for you. And so when dealing with the heart, it doesn't have a time frame. Spirit also doesn't have the time frame that we do. We try to get it as well as possible. But here, there's the soul's healing. And it brings us to our inner child. Now, we might sit there and say, what is the inner child important for when it comes to love? Well, our past experiences make up our present ones. So often we judge things because of the past. And the hurt here around the heart stems from the inner child. Now, it can stem from your parents' relationship or whomever raised you, relationships. A lot of times we carry those hurts forward. But Spirit is also saying that for others, it's the inner child of what you had to endure if you had your own children. If you were tested during that time. And there's a power in here with yourself, with that connection with yourself, with what it is that you desire, how it is that you're moving forward, how it is that you're healing. There is this call for love around the child that you once were, or around the hard road you had to walk. And there's a sense of opening up your arms and opening up yourself and saying, I love you. And as we do this, as we open up our arms to ourselves, who we once were, to the responsibilities that we had to bear, to the intensity of life and living, we become more aligned with the power of moving forward, that we are not alone, that there is a strength and a dignity and a power and an abundance to us that we had not seen. And it brings us to love. It brings us to falling in love with our lives. It brings us to falling in love with ourselves just a bit more. And I know we're talking about love and relationships here. And we all want to know, how is everything going to get better? Am I going to meet the right person? We all have these endless questions, no matter where you are in your relationship. But so often we forget to look inward and say, where am I in the relationship with myself? How in love am I with my life and with my power and with my truth? And it's opening up our hearts to love, not just for everybody else, but for ourselves, because we deserve it. It's looking at the heart chakra and saying, especially as a Taurian, I embrace the sensuality, the pleasure and the joy of being me. It's so important and such a fundamental part of your personality. And so here we step into that. We step into that power. We step into that truth. We step into ourselves. And it starts with love. And that becomes, I just love the joyous kind of like jubilee of this chariot. It's like, this is where we're like, this is me. This is me. This is what I desire. This is what I'm moving forward in. And it's because there is a joy in standing in our truth and saying, this is what I want, and this is where I'm headed, and this is what I'm going for, and this is who I am. And so the chariot moves us forward. And we forget that the charioteer, though this person looks joyous and happy, the charioteer is the warrior. The chariots, they were used by pharaohs, by emperors, by empresses, by kings, by queens. We forget the force behind it as we claim our truth, as we know who we are, as we sit there and say, this is what I want from love. Not only from everybody else, but also from myself. This is where we stand. This is the battle forward, and this is the truth seen. And so the chariot is the power, the understanding, the force forward. It's also embracing your sensuality of self. So in the description box below, I have linked Carezza. And it's a couple talking about Carezza. And it is this non-orgasmic sex, which sounds productive, right? But it is that sense of coming together. It is that sense of becoming one with your partner. But I can see it taken a step further and have taken it a step further. It's becoming one with yourself. It's embracing who it is you are. It's embracing your sensuality, your sexuality of being, your heart, your joy, your discovery. So when we have the chariot here, when we have the sense of power and force moving forward, it's the sense of bonding and of understanding and of joy and of truth. And that's what we're bringing forward into love, into what we want from love, into our relationships, into the finding of relationships, into any stage of the journey of love. And it's being able to say, this is me. And it's opening up to our truth of the magician. The magician says, as above, so below. As I think it, so it becomes. So often we find ourselves in life repeating old relationship patterns, hurts and scars and disappointments and devastations. And it could be our relationship patterns or, the ones we were raised seeing. And the magician says, as above, so below. As I believe it, so it becomes. What we focus on in life and in love is what we get more of. And so often we don't always understand what that means. So often we focus on the negative, we focus on the struggles and the hardships and the pains. And we don't realize that will bring us more struggles and hardships and pains. What the magician calls us to do is to take power within our lives, to stand in our truth and in our glory, and to say, this is me. This is my knowledge. This is my wisdom. These are my emotions. This is my truth. This is the prosperity I'm planting within myself. This is me. And I claim it with honor and dignity. I claim it with triumph and success. And that's what this section right here is all about. It's about triumph, success, force, truth. And the force comes in that force of self, that being a force of nature to move forward in. And it brings you to healing. It brings you to healing over nostalgia. It brings you to healing over past scars that were spoken over you. The Two of Cups is that unity, is that healing of being, is that becoming, discovering, and deeper understanding. The Six of Cups, that's the past we have to contend with. That's the truth of our present. That's the different ideas and ideals and ways forward and questioning and discovering and seeing and being. And so here, we have a lot thrown at us. Here, we're looking at the ways that we want to move forward. We're looking at the people we are and the people we want to become. And we're calling forward something more than we expected. But there's also going to be this part during this time when the past comes forward and says, you can't get rid of me. I'm here to stay. You can't silence me. I'm your history. I'm your absolute truth. And this is a time where you'll hear those nasty voices. You'll hear the ex voice, saying that you're not worth anything. You'll hear the person who raised you, or, whomever's voice being nasty and spiteful and hurtful to you. And saying, well, how do I move forward? Where is it that I belong? The unity of love is the unity of connection. And to take ourselves out of the hurt and the pain is not to connect with it. It's not to see the truth within it. There might be truth. I mean, the really good pains that stick, they have an element to truth in them, or they have an element of fear to them. So how do we take the fear out of the equation? How do we move forward towards a deeper love and a deeper connection and a deeper power and purpose? It's by saying, this is who I am. It's by unifying with ourselves. It's by connecting with our partners if we're in relationships. And it's by connecting with our spiritual partners, okay? If we're not in relationships. And saying, this is my divine connection to the universe and to the world and to where I want to be and how I'm discovering my love and my joy and my sensuality and my truth. And it's bringing the holy back into love. It's bringing the sacred back into love. It's not a sharing of hearts and a sharing of souls is not supposed to be common or flippant. It's supposed to be profound and beautiful. And as we call that forward during this time, it's that connection in sensuality. It's the not looking for the next great rush, right? It's the saying, this is my truth. This is my passion. This is my heart. This is where I am. And it's embracing the slow and steady joy. And as we do this, oh, that's so interesting. So the white angel has dark lips. The dark angel has white lips. It's knowing that we talk at this time with each other's truths. That's going to be very important, that coming together, that truth, that understanding, that connection. It brings us to the wands. Now, the wands, of course, can be seen as phallic symbols, most definitely. But it's this sense of embracing passion and truth, the growth, the coming together, the release, and the brilliance of it. So when we have the Ace of Wands coming forward, it can be taking that passion and taking hold of it and saying, this gets to be the sensuality that I embrace within my life. This gets to be the power that gets to become a part of me. But it can also be taking that power of sensuality, especially in the sacred masculine aspect of life, and saying, this has meaning to me. Instead of it being something to be intimidated by or overpowered by or, dictated by. It's a power that you are centered around. It is a power that you are embracing within yourself. And you're saying, this is my passion. This is my truth. This is what grows within my being of understanding, which can sound multifaceted, right? But it's saying that within us, there is a power that moves us forward. And there is a sense of holding on to our magic, our truth, our, Spirit is saying, erection of self, which is a very interesting way of putting it. Because there is always going to be the erection of passion within every single person. Just the matter of size, right? And so here, there is a sense of embracing that growing of passion. But there is also a sense of being the knight, the defender of that growing of passion within us, that growing of what we desire and where we're headed and who we are and where we want to be and how we want to express love within our existence and what we're fighting for within love. So it can be fighting for, a deeper connection. It can be fighting for our own voice within love, especially if we've been hurt before, okay? Especially if we've known trauma around love, either experienced it ourselves or seen it. So here it is opening up the doors to what it is that we want and where it is that we need to be within our love, within our sacred journey, within our power forward. And it brings us to the root of the Three of Cups and the King of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups for me is always, every single time, the person who was supposed to raise the glass to us, but couldn't. The person who was supposed to stand by our sides, but couldn't. And you might say, okay, why is it connected by love here? Because it is the power of the heart to not be poisoned by those who could not stand in truth with us, in solidarity. And it's the power of the heart to say, but I'm still here, and I'm still standing, and I will always be. And there's a power of greater understanding, of merciful truth, of passion of self. It's understanding the hardship and the pain and the heartbreak and the disappointment and saying, I see you. I feel you. I name you. I hear you. But I'm not ruled by you. And it is then an embrace of the passion, the purpose, and the power of our lives. So the King of Cups has us having this beautiful connection with air sign energy, not air sign energy, water sign energy, especially Cancer here. Okay, we have fire sign energy coming in with the wands, most definitely. But there's this beautiful connection with what we want, where we're headed, and who we are. I see always the King of Cups as saying, this is my life, and I rule it. I rule over no one else but me. I am empowered, emboldened, and dedicated to no one else but myself. And that's not a selfish thing. That's not a, like, oh my gosh, it's all about me, egocentric thing. That is that there is one person that we're with from birth to death, and that is ourselves. There is one person that we have complete control over, and that's ourselves. And it's embracing that passion, that power, that brilliance, that truth, and saying, this is me. And this is how I move forward in what I love, what I want, and who I am. And as I do so, I claim my voice, I claim my emotions, I claim my love. And I do so proudly, powerfully, and brilliantly. It moves us then to the subconscious message of this time. The subconscious chakra message is grounding. This is the Solstar Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. How are we grounding ourselves? What are we rooting ourselves in? What is our sacred and powerful truth? What is the connection with our sensual, powerful beings? How are we erecting ourselves within this life? Growing, planting, discovering. What are we feeding ourselves with? Spiritually, physically, emotionally. What is the food that is going into our souls? This opens up the door. This has us having a greater connection and a greater understanding of who we are and what's nourishing our soul and what's depleting that energy. It's knowing that the hard times, yes, are hard, but they are also teaching times, powerful times, because the manure is what grows the roses, what grows the trees. And it brings us then to the subconscious tarot message. Which is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess with the Magician. That is beautiful. This is spiritually wise. The sacred feminine and the sacred masculine coming forward. Yes, they're both represented by women in this card, but it doesn't, in the stack, but it doesn't really matter. This is the part of you that is seen, that stands before the altar, that calls forward your truth. This is the part of you that is inwardly gaining understanding, having the veil lifted from behind your eyes, from in front of your eyes, having yourself see more clearly, more honestly, more truly who it is that you are, where it is that you want to be, and what it is that you desire from your existence. The High Priestess claims a throne we didn't know was lost, claims a voice we didn't realize was silenced. A lot of times as we're embracing the sensuality of our beings, we do not realize that a part of us was silenced, that a part of us was turned off. We have this idea of what love should be. It's all based around the erotic. We have this idea of what sex should be. A lot of it comes from porn. And when we embrace who it is that we are, what it is that our souls need love to be, need sex to be, it becomes so entirely different. It becomes emboldening. It becomes, sometimes life-affirming to stand in our power, to know our truth, to say sensually and powerfully and personally, this is me. Whether we have partners or whether we don't, it doesn't matter. It is to stand in the power of who we are now and see ourselves as where we are today, but also as the projection of the infinite faces of self that we can be in the future, the ways that we want to move forward, the kind of meditation and contemplation on the what ifs and the how comes, and what looks most desirable to us. What is the spirit of the future that we most want to call forward? And how do we manifest that in the power of the present? And stay in the present, not living in delusion, not living only for the future, but connecting with the now and connecting with the power of the now. All right, Taurus, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace love, passion, and power, and as we connect with the internal and eternal power of ourselves, our passion, and our desires. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus.